1983 lit up with neon nights, MTV premieres, and rock reinventing itself in real time. From glossy dance rock to locker-rattling metal, the year pulsed through bus rides, arcades, and after-school TV. Here are 10 rock anthems from 1983 that defined our youth and still hit like a power chord. Number 10, Jump by Van Halen. A brand new home studio tucked into the Hollywood Hills became the launchpad. With tape rolling at 5,150, a bright Oberheim riff spilled out, and the room snapped to attention. The idea had lived on a demo for years, but now the gear, the mood, and the moment finally aligned. Producer Ted Templeman and engineer Don Landy kept it lean, letting drums crack and that synth figure lead while the guitars waited to strike. It felt like a risk inside a band built on 6 strings, yet the playback made the decision easy. Released in late December 1983, the single hit radio as MTV kept the camera close and the lights hot. By winter's end, it was everywhere. Gymnasiums, pep rallies, car stereos before first period. A 5-week sprint at number 1 sealed its place. One Q and Youth returns. Warm blacktop, varsity jackets, and half the school shouting along without missing a beat. Number 9, Every Breath You Take by The Police. Inside AIR Montserrat, a spare arrangement took shape under Hugh Padgham's watch. Personal frictions simmered, so the parts stayed disciplined and uncluttered. Andy Summers found a circling guitar figure that framed the silence, Stuart Copeland kept the pulse exact, and Sting delivered the vocal close to the mic, letting space do as much work as any instrument. Released in late May 1983, the single took hold of that summer's charts and radio countdowns, spending weeks at number 1 in the US. The black and white video, directed by Godley and Krem, looked like a short film. Hot lamps, cigarette smoke, musicians frozen in chiaroscuro, and MTV played it constantly in living rooms, appliance stores, and after-school hangouts. Memories come back instantly. Slow dances at gymnasium proms, kitchen radios glowing past midnight, mall speakers turning shoppers quiet for a moment. One opening chord, and the room still hushes, like everyone knows exactly where they were the first time they heard it. Number 8, Let's Dance by David Bowie. Spring 1983 turned shop windows into mirrors and sidewalks into runways. TV walls looped a sunburned Australian storyline, bar scenes, Baroque makeup, a pair of scarlet heels, and after-school crowds watched the images blur into weekend plans. Let's sway. You could look into my eyes. Fashion pages and record bins spoke the same language for a moment, and the new look felt like an invitation to dress up and step out. Behind that pop culture takeover sat a clean rebuild at the power station. Nile Rodgers streamlined the arrangement with a producer's eye for space, horns etched the edges, and a young Texas guitarist, Stevie Ray Vaughan, threaded heat through the middle. The take moved with confidence, parts locked, rhythm section sure-footed, the mix leaving room for motion. Hit play today, and the room remembers. Department store fluorescents, club lights bouncing off glass, friends practicing moves in living rooms before heading out. One opening snap and the night opens. Bright, polished, and full of possibilities.
To the song they play.
Number 7. Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes. Rooftop angles and jump cuts turned after-school TV into a mini-thriller. Mall video walls froze on the chase, friends argued over the symbolism, and the countdown clock in the corner felt like part of the plot. Inside SARM West, producer Trevor Horn rebuilt a promising home demo with surgical precision. Trevor Rabin's fragments were recut and resequenced. Fairlight stabs marked the corners, and drums were honed until every accent landed like an edit point. John Anderson threaded vocal lines across the new frame, while the mix left air for the whole machine to breathe. Late October brought the single to radio, and it climbed through winter to a Hot 100 #1 in January, the band's first in the U.S. One Q brings back bus rides with buzzing boomboxes, geometry notebook doodles of the 90125 blocks, and lunch tables turning into drum kits as everyone tried to nail that stop-start groove. Number 6. Photograph by Def Leppard. Weeks of long nights with Mutt Lange turned a rough idea into a glossy calling card. At Park Gates and later Battery Studios in London, stacks of harmonies were built brick by brick, while drum parts were tightened until every hit felt inevitable. A new guitarist, Phil Collins, settled in mid-sessions and lit the solos with the precision the producer wanted. The process was meticulous, but the payoff was obvious the moment the control room speakers lit up. Early 1983 brought the release and a video that seemed to live on MTV. David Mallet cut performance shots with a Marilyn Monroe motif, and suddenly lockers, mall TVs, and Saturday countdowns had the same loop. It topped the mainstream rock chart for weeks and broke the band wide in the States while Pyromania flew out of record shops. One spin still cues hallway swagger, denim jackets, and boomboxes balanced on shoulders. The chorus lands, and a whole year rushes back like a snapshot developing in real time. Let's take a quick pause before we hit the final 5. Which 1983 rocker flashed you back the fastest? Did a video live rent-free on your TV after school? And what would you crown as the most overlooked rock hit of 1983? Let us know in the comments. We read everyone. Number 5. Burning Down the House by Talking Heads. A Madison Square Garden chant from a Parliament Funkadelic show sparked the title. Back in New York, jam tapes rolled while a skeletal groove took shape, sections shuffled, and placeholder syllables became the bones of a lyric.
65 degrees, burning down the house.
Producing themselves, the band stacked percussion and trimmed until the arrangement felt aerodynamic, every accent purposeful. Released in July 1983 with Speaking in Tongues on Shelves, the single climbed to number 9 on the Hot 100. David Mallet's quick-cut video, Domestic Surrealism, Living Rooms as Stages, played in heavy rotation, and MTV hammered the hook into afternoon routines. College radio had supported the band for years. By late summer, the chant was echoing through arenas, gymnasiums, and mall speakers coast to coast. One Q conjures crowded living rooms, thrift store lamps, and friends stomping scuffed carpet like the floor might give. The chant starts, shoulders bounce, and the room becomes a tiny stage. Fluorescent buzz, TV glow, and 1983 right within reach. Number 4. Sharp Dressed Man by ZZ Top. Memphis nights at Ardent blurred into early mornings, while engineer Terry Manning locked click-tight programming to Billy Gibbons' stacked guitars. Producer Bill Ham kept the arrangement lean, chasing a radio-ready pulse that fit the Eliminator blueprint. Parts were layered with care, every accent measured, the groove built for steady motion and replay value. Mid-July 1983 put the single on shelves, and rock radio pushed it into the mainstream rock top 10 while it made a run on the Hot 100. Tim Newman's mini-movie sealed the deal. The Eliminator coupe, the beards, the keychains that seemed to open any door, MTV kept that universe in rotation, and record stores kept Eliminator face out at the counter. Closet mirrors and Friday rituals come back fast. Hairspray hiss, cufflinks set straight, the good boots pulled from the box. One opening lick and the posture changes. Mall floors turn into runways, and the night feels charged before the front door even swings open. Number 3. New Year's Day by U2. January 1983 arrived with a snowbound clip looping on MTV. Icy fields, wind-whipped flags, and a sense that the calendar itself had turned the volume up on possibility. Afternoons at the mall TV wall paused for those wintry images, and dorm lounges treated it like a signal flare for the year ahead. Back home in Dublin, sessions at Windmill Lane with producer Steve Lillywhite tightened ideas into something lean and resolute. Early drafts drew on headlines from Poland's Solidarity movement, and the title fit the release date like it was circled from the start. Takes were kept focused, decisions swift. The final mix left space for each part to breathe while keeping the message close to the chest. The single became the group's first major breakthrough outside Ireland, a UK top 10 entry, and their first US Hot 100 appearance. Suddenly the name was on every rock playlist. One spin and winter bus rides come back. Fogged windows, notebooks balanced on knees, and a feeling that the year might actually change. Number 2. Come On Feel the Noise by Quiet Riot. A British glam anthem from a decade earlier got a second life in Los Angeles, and a new generation found its rallying cry. Producer Spencer Proffer pushed the idea hard, and inside the Pasha Music House, the band drilled it until the chant felt stadium-sized. Kevin Dubrow carried the attitude, Frankie Banali's drums hit like lockers closing, and Carlos Cavazo and Rudy Sarzo locked the edges so the groove moved as one. July 1983 put the single on the air just as MTV shaped what After School sounded like. It cracked the US Top 5 and turned Curiosity into a surge at record counters, helping Metal Health climb all the way to number 1, the first heavy metal album to sit at the top of the Billboard 200. Radio stacked it next to arena staples, and suddenly every pep rally had the same stomp and shout release. One cue and the scene returns. Denim jackets, mall arcades, and friends thumping lunch tables in unison. The chorus hits, fists go up, and the parking lot becomes a stage under sodium lights.
Come on, feel the noise. Girls, rock your voice.
Number 1. The Trooper by Iron Maiden. Victorian history charged into 1983 through a single sleeve that felt like a movie poster. Eddie with a torn Union flag, sabers flashing in the mind's eye. The title nodded to Tennyson and the Battle of Balaclava, and on stage the moment became ritual. A flag raised high, lights blazing, arenas answering with a roar. Down in Nassau at Compass Point, producer Martin Birch kept the focus tight while the arrangement took shape with relentless intent. Dave Murray and Adrian Smith wove precision lines, Nico McBrain drove the momentum, and Steve Harris steered the structure with a storyteller's eye for pacing. Takes were chased until the energy felt like forward motion you could almost see, discipline meeting adrenaline inside the live room. June 20th, 1983 put it on the streets, a UK top 20 hit and a staple on rock radio worldwide. Hallways and bus rides returned fast, denim jackets patched with Eddie, algebra margins filled with little cavalry sketches, desks thumping in that unmistakable rhythm. One look at the artwork, one count in, and the year's pulse is back.